Welcome back to part 2 of Module 9, Lesson 4, the very last video you should have for Module 9. We're started off with Example 3, where they have given us a square pyramid and they want us to find the surface area of it. Now, they have even gone so far as to make the net for us. We don't even have to make the net. All we have to do is find the area of each one of the pieces of that square pyramid and then add them up to find the total surface area. So let's get started here. Select each button to find the area of the lateral basis and all. So we're going to first off go down, click on the step 1. Step 1 says, let's try that again. There it is. That the area of the square base, this one right here, you got 4 centimeters by 4 centimeters on each side. So they use the formula area is equal to side squared. You could also have used a rectangular formula, which is area is equal to length times width, or area is equal to base times height. From there, they said area equals side squared. The side length of each one is, whoa, we got an issue here. They said 6. I'm seeing 4 right here. Let's go back and look at the original problem. The original problem has 4s as well. They screwed up this problem because what we should be seeing is going to be a 4 by 4, which would end up giving, so you would have 4 squared times 4 squared, which would give you 16 square centimeters, and that is what they actually give for their answer in the text down here. But their supporting work, it doesn't show that at all, does it? So this should be 4 and 16, not 6 and 36. Then we're going to take a look at the triangular prism. This one looks like they did it right. They said area equals 1/2 times base times height. Then they said 1/2 times 4 for the base of the triangles times 7.23 for the height of the triangles. And when they multiply that out, they got the 14.46. And then they said, well, what would all of them be combined? They took and multiplied the 14.46 times the 4 triangles you see right here to find that the surface area of all of the triangular faces was going to be 57 and 84/100 centimeters squared. Now the next thing they have to do is they have to take and add all that up. So we're going to go on to slide 3 of this set, where you see they've got the 16 from the square base and the 57 and 84/100 from the 4 triangular faces. Add those all together and they gave them the final answer of 73.84 centimeters squared. That is going to be the surface area of that triangular prism. Really easy to do. Really nothing we haven't done in the past 2 or 3 lessons. And now it's going to be your turn. Once again, they've even drawn out the net for you. You go ahead and pause the video and find the area, the surface area of this triangular pyramid. So how did it go for you? Let's take a look at what I'm going to do. I'm going to start off by finding the area of that square base. Now, because it is a square, I can use a formula that is going to say area is equal to side squared, or I could use a formula that says area is equal to length times width, or base times height. Any one of those is perfectly good. Either way you look at it, you're going to end up having 5 times 5, so our area is going to equal to 25, which I'm going to take and write in the middle of that square. Next, we're going to work on the triangles. I'm going to draw a line to separate my work, and I'm going to take and say that use a formula. My preferred formula is going to be area is equal to base times height divided by 2. So here I can say area is equal to, well, the base is going to be this distance right here, which is going to be 5. So I have 5 times the height is going to be this distance right here, which is 4.3, and all that will be divided by 2. Now I have to make choices. Do I want to multiply 5 by 4.3 and then divide it by 2? Do I want to take and divide either 5 or 4.3 by 2? I can do any of that depending on what's going to be easier. I think it's going to be easier to multiply first and divide later. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 0.3 is going to be 1.5, so that's going to end up giving me 21.5. And yes, I totally did that in my head using the distributive property. Let me show you what I did. You had 5 times 4.3, which is the same thing as saying 5 times 4 plus 5 times 0.3. 5 times 4 became 20, plus 5 times 0.3 became 1.5, and those added up to be my 21.5 that I put right here. Of course, I still have to take and divide that by 2, and when I divide that by 2, that's going to give me 10.5. Let's go ahead and do that one by hand because it gets a little tricky with that one. So 2 goes into 2 once. 1 times 2 is 2 with nothing left over. The 1 comes down. 2 goes into 1 0 times. The decimal goes up and the 5 goes down. And 2 goes into 15 7 times. 7 times 2 is going to be 14. 15 minus 14 is 1. Annex a 0 and bringing it down. 2 goes into 10 5 times. And of course 5 times 2 is 10 with nothing left over. So the area of each one of those triangles is going to be 10.75. Now I get to take and add it all up. So I've got 4 triangles at 10.75 each. And I've got 1 square at 25.0. We're going to add those up. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Put down a 0, carry that. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 times 7 is 28. And 28 plus 2 is going to be 30 again. Carry the 3. This is going to give me an 8. And this is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I get a 68.00, otherwise known as just 68 for my answer. Plug in my 68 right here. Check my answer, and the answer checks. Easy math. Now example 4 gives us another very similar type problem where we're dealing with a pyramid, only this one's a triangular pyramid, and the best part about it is an equilateral triangular pyramid, which means all 4 of the sides, they're going to be the same. Makes this so much simpler. So let's get into this one. First thing we're going to do is take and make the net, which they did. Made it very pretty for us. And now we're going to take and select buttons to find the surface area of each one. So step 1, the area of the center, the base triangle right here, that ended up being 1/2 times base times height. We had a base of 9 and a height of 7.8. And then they multiplied and divided all that out and found that the area of that one triangle, that's going to be 35.1. Next, they took and went to the wings of that, or your lateral faces, but you know what? Every single one of those are the same. And since they are the same, you don't even have to redo them. You're just done. You've already found the area of them when you found the area of the base. So what can we do there? Well, they said 3 times that number to find out the area of these. I would have just done 4 times that number to be done, because now they're going to have to go in and add the one base, 35.1, and the 3 faces together to get 140.4, which we can take and put down right here. Check the answer. The surface area of that triangular pyramid is going to be 140 and 4/10 square meters. Pretty simple to do, particularly when it's an equilateral triangle, because that makes it to where you only have to find the area of one piece and then just multiply it times the number of pieces. Super easy. Now, last problem for you to work today. Extra example number 4. They've given you a triangular prism, and let's take a look here. It is not an equilateral triangle. So you're going to have to find the area of your base first. Then you're going to have to find the area of the 3 sides separate, because they are not all the same. And then from there, we're going to add it all up to find the total. Go ahead and pause the video and work on that. So how did that one work out for you? Ready to see what I do? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write down 2 triangle formulas. I use a base times height divided by 2 approach. And with those triangles, I need 2 different ones, because the base triangle is very different in size and shape from the lateral faces or the side triangles. So my first triangle, my base, is going to have a base of 6. So area is going to equal to 6 times, it's going to have a height of 5.2, and we're going to divide all of that by 2. Now this is one of those places where I'm going to simplify before I multiply, because I'm going to say that 2 goes into 2 once and 2 goes into 6 3 times, and then when I multiply, I'm going to do that same thing I showed you earlier, where I'm going to say in my head 3 times 5 is 15, 3 times 0.2, that's 0.6, so the area is going to be 15.6 of that triangle, which I'm going to circle, and I'm going to put it right there. Next, I'm going to change my color to blue while I work on my lateral faces. For these, my area is equal to, once again, the base is still a nice even number of 6 times, and the height, that's going to be 8.3. All divided by 2. Area is going to equal to here. Once again, I'm going to simplify before I multiply. 2 went into 2 once and 2 went into 6 3 times. And now I can say, well, 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 0.3 is 0.9. So that is going to be 24.9, which I'm going to circle right there. And I can also take and write that in all 4 of my triangular faces, because they're all equal to the same thing. Last thing I have to do is add them all up. So make a new line to separate my work, keeping it neat and organized. I have 24.9 plus 24.9 plus 24.9 plus the last one is 15.6. I'm going to add all those up. One, that's going to become 27 plus 6 is going to be 33. Carry the 3. And then I'm going to have 12, 13, 14, 15, 20. Carry the 2. And then I'm going to have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. And my decimal is going to come down. Give me a final answer of 90 3/10. And what's the unit going to be? Meters squared. 90.3. Check my answer. The answer checks. That is all there is to this lesson. Go ahead and stop your video now. Get started on your homework. Bring me whatever questions you have in class tomorrow.